volume only works if quality stays high. You can't just throw half, done things at the wall, or you're actually going to hurt yourself, not help yourself. So if your team can only produce like 2 really excellent proposals a month, or even 1 excellent proposal per month, then do that. Because a strong targeted proposal, even if it was just 1 or 2, is going to beat 5 rushed ones every time.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm here with Sarah from SAS-GPS, and today we're going to be breaking down a question we hear a lot from federal contractors. How many 1 million plus government contracts should a company bid on each month to actually improve their win rates, right? Well, again, we're assuming that people and companies have past experience, they have delivered before, and their internal capacity, they can handle more contracts, right? Even with some outside support. So, Sarah, question, right? Where should we start?
Well, that's really the question. So when you're chasing $1 million plus contracts or bigger, right? The goal is really kind of a steady, sustainable bid volume, not random bursts of activity. A strong industry-backed guideline is about 2 to 3 well-qualified proposals per month, and that ends up being about 24 to 40 proposals a year, which is the range where companies usually start seeing real movement with their win rates. So this is key, right? This is the big thing. Volume only works if quality stays high. You can't just throw half, done things at the wall, or you're actually going to hurt yourself, not help yourself. So if your team can only produce like 2 really excellent proposals a month, or even 1 excellent proposal per month, then do that. Because a strong targeted proposal, even if it was just 1 or 2, is going to beat 5 rushed ones every time, right? Well considered.
Yeah, 100%. So the message is consistency over chaos, right? Now, the next question that people obviously logically get is like win rates, right? So like, what does a good win rate look like when you're talking about federal contracting and you're bidding at volume?
Yeah, so I always sort of wince at the win rate question, because it's really variable, right? It depends on your industry, it depends on all kinds of things, right? And sometimes you bid things that you're not going to win for other reasons, right? Like
Sure.
To push around your competitor, or you're going to need to protest, and you have to submit to protest, things like that. But let's just say, in general, like a 25 to 30% win rate is considered pretty strong. Newer contractors might land a little lower than that, like 15 to 20%, as you build up your past performance and your proposals get better. But mature, well-positioned contractors, you have good, strong qualifications, good capture, you can reach 25 to 40%, and that's considered pretty solid. Elite primes, right? Your big boys in the industry, they have a lot of incumbency, contract vehicle positionings, can see sometimes extremely high win rates. But that's probably not the people that are really watching this video. So, other side of things, if your win rate is falling below 15%, that is usually signaling that you have something to work on. Maybe it's a qualifications issue, or maybe you're chasing too many opportunities where you're not really competitive, so you're using a lot of resources for things that really is just not, maybe you just need to change your strategy a little bit.
Yeah, no, 100%. Okay. Well, that's super helpful. Yeah, and I guess that brings us to like the next, piece and again, question, right? When or like how do you use outside proposal support, right? How can consultants or proposal specialists, shift away and help you win, more?
Yeah. So I think there's 3 really big ways that outside support can help you. 1, it can increase your proposal quality, right? You have experienced writers, you have people who are doing compliance reviews, and this is all that they do with their life, right? Like they are writers and compliance people. They're going to make sure every section is aligned with the RFP and that it scores well. And high scoring proposals will produce the result, right, that you want. And high scoring proposals come from a good process, a good structure, and expertise. The second one is that, kind of getting outside support can strengthen qualification and strategy. So maybe you're bidding the wrong opportunities, or you don't have a very strong go, no-go process, whether that's internal or supported. And so having outside, like kind of somebody looking at it from the outside might help you sort of see what that process adjustments need to be, prevent wasted time, focus on the opportunities you can win. And if, expand your bid capacity. If your internal team can only handle 1 major proposal at a time, maybe 2, right? And you want to do 3 or 4 in parallel without sacrificing quality, right? Big one again, without sacrificing quality, right? Then outside help can help you ramp up. And we do that at SAS-GPS a lot, right? We'll work with stand-in proposal teams, and they contact us when their like plate gets so full. They're like, hey, we got 3, that's as much as we can handle with high quality, can you handle these 2, right? And then
Right.
you know, we're kind of a go. So that helps keep that pipeline and that sort of cadence. The outside help can help keep that like strong.
Yeah, 100%. No, yeah, just work smarter, not harder, right?
Oh, please.
Yeah. All right. So now this brings us we talked about it a little bit earlier, right? But just to reiterate the point, right? Is it better to bid high or is it better to be selective?
Okay. So for federal contracts that are over like $1 million, right? Bigger contracts, selective wins every time. Okay. So if you're talking about like high volume or selective volume every time. High volume, bid everything approaches, is going to tank your win rate. They're going to spread your team thin. You're going to start rushing. You're going to clog your pipeline with things that are really low probability, right? If you do selective bidding, meaning that you only pursue those well-qualified, well-aligned opportunities that you've done your background research on, that you've put your pricing in, you know, you've thought about, like, is this like, can I win? You've looked at the requirements, you looked at your past performance, right? You looked at the cost, all of those things. You're going to consistently produce higher win rates that are going to rise up, right? Maybe 30, maybe 50%, depending on your sector. So, and you know, I think the more competitive that the market is that you're in, then the more important that becomes. So pipeline quality matters more than pipeline quantity. And that, I guess, and I don't want to say like selective isn't rare. You're not like so selective that you're like, we only have 1 bid a year, right?
Right.
It just means consistent, focused bidding on the opportunities where you've calculated your probability of win, and it works because you have strong past performance, a strong story, and you can make competitive pricing for it. So again, sweet spot, 2 to 4 a month, that would be amazing, right? Support by capture, compliance, structured process, that's going to grow your business. That's not a static model, that's a dynamic model.
100%. So the formula basically is like bid consistently, bid strategically, and keep like proposals quality high.
Exactly. If you want to win $1 million plus contracts, it's not a lottery, right? It's a process you have to do. Disciplined monthly bid cadence, strong qualifications, and high quality proposals are what's going to move you from the occasional like, oh, we won one, holy moly, now we're like really doing business, to a predictable, stable pipeline.
Yeah, 100%. Right. And again, we have a lot of videos that go into more in depth on other subjects about, you know, GovCon insights and stuff like that. But this is one of the most asked questions. So if your team wants help, you know, winning proposals and having better quality or ramping up your monthly bid, Sarah and SAS-GPS are here to help you guys out. Again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to subscribe. We're more than happy to help. And thanks for watching.